If you're over 60, there's a vegetable in your kitchen right now that could silently raise your stroke risk overnight. No chest pain, no warning, just confusion, slurred words, or a sudden collapse. As a brain doctor, I've seen it happen, not from junk food, but from so-called healthy vegetables eaten at the wrong time. We've all heard it for years, eat your vegetables. But what no one tells you is that certain vegetables, especially when eaten at night, can quietly spike your blood pressure, over-thin your blood, or dangerously interact with common medications. And according to the American Heart Association, nearly 1 in 4 strokes happen while you sleep. Today, I'm revealing 3 vegetables to avoid after 60, ones that may quietly harm brain health, increase clot risk, and damage aging arteries. But don't worry, I'll also show you safer swaps to protect your memory and mobility. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. Let's start with the first silent saboteur on our list.
Vegetable number 1. Garlic. The blood thinner you didn't see coming. Could something as small as a clove of garlic, something praised as a superfood, quietly raise your stroke risk after 60? It sounds hard to believe, doesn't it? Garlic is practically a health hero. It's been celebrated for centuries across cultures, from ancient Chinese medicine to Mediterranean kitchens, for its heart-protective, cholesterol-lowering, and immune-boosting effects. But here's what most seniors aren't being told. Garlic isn't just flavorful, it's biologically active. It contains powerful compounds like allicin, which act as natural blood thinners. While that might sound like a good thing, for many older adults, especially those on medication, this seemingly healthy vegetable can become a hidden danger. Garlic's blood-thinning properties can interfere with how your body clots, particularly if you're already taking medications like aspirin, clopidogrel, or warfarin. When too much thinning happens, especially overnight when your blood pressure naturally drops, it raises the risk of something truly terrifying, a hemorrhagic stroke or bleeding in the brain. According to the National Institutes of Health, aged garlic extract, garlic oil, and raw garlic can potentiate the effects of anticoagulant medications. This isn't a mild interaction. In sensitive individuals, it can push clotting function beyond the safe zone. Let me tell you about a real-life case shared by my mentor, Dr. Raymond, a vascular neurologist with over 30 years of experience. He once treated a 69-year-old woman who came in with spontaneous nosebleeds, dizziness, and extreme fatigue. Her labs showed an INR level nearly double the safe limit, meaning her blood was dangerously thin. She had been unknowingly increasing her risk every night with homemade garlic soup while taking prescription blood thinners. It took weeks to stabilize her safely. That night, she came this close to a brain bleed in her sleep. And here's the kicker. She felt fine. That's the deceptive part. The effects of stroke-risk foods like garlic don't always show up until it's too late. According to the Mayo Clinic, many natural blood thinners, including garlic, ginger, and ginkgo biloba, can interact with common medications and dramatically increase the risk of internal bleeding, particularly in older adults. These interactions often go unnoticed until there's a major event. So if you're over 60 and love garlic, should you panic? Not at all. But I am begging seniors to use it wisely. Here's what I recommend. Enjoy garlic earlier in the day, preferably at lunch. Avoid high-concentration supplements unless approved by your doctor. Be cautious if you're taking any form of blood thinner or heart medication. Watch out for signs of easy bruising, nosebleeds, or unexplained fatigue. They could signal your blood is too thin. And if you're craving flavor for dinner, try herbs like rosemary, thyme, or basil. They support brain health after 60 without tipping the scale toward a bleed. Next, we'll tackle a vegetable you probably think of as completely harmless, even diet food. But eaten raw at the wrong time can send your blood sugar and blood pressure crashing, creating the perfect storm for stroke while you sleep.
Vegetable number 2. Raw carrots, the sugar trap in disguise. Raw carrots might look innocent, but could they be spiking your stroke risk without you realizing it? Carrots are often thought of as a go-to snack for weight loss. They're crunchy, colorful, and low in calories. What's not to love, right? But when eaten raw, and especially before bedtime, they can quietly create a roller coaster effect in your body, particularly in seniors over 60. Raw carrots have a moderate glycemic index, meaning they can cause a noticeable rise in blood sugar, especially when consumed alone or in larger portions. That spike can lead to a crash a few hours later, just as you're sleeping. And in older adults, those blood sugar crashes are no joke. They've been linked to midnight cortisol surges, sudden blood pressure spikes, and even nocturnal arrhythmias. According to a report from the National Institute on Aging, blood sugar instability at night increases cardiovascular strain in adults over 65, particularly those with prediabetes, autonomic dysfunction, or sleep apnea, all common in this age group. The stress placed on the nervous system and arteries during these sugar dips has been associated with higher stroke incidence during early morning hours. Even more concerning, that same crash can trigger a rebound adrenaline response, causing blood pressure to shoot up suddenly, a known mechanism for silent strokes, which often happen during sleep with no symptoms until the next morning. And if you're already taking beta blockers, diuretics, or meds for type 2 diabetes, this up and down pattern becomes even more dangerous. Your body isn't as quick to stabilize blood sugar or pressure overnight, leaving your brain vulnerable to small vessel damage, microclots, or pressure-related ruptures. What your body could handle at 30 doesn't always sit the same way at 60. As we age, our metabolism, hormones, and blood vessels all change, and so does the way we react to certain foods. That's why it's so important to look out for hidden triggers in our diet, even in vegetables we've always assumed were safe. So, should you stop eating carrots? Not necessarily. Just don't eat them raw and alone as a nighttime snack. Pair small portions with healthy fats like hummus, Greek yogurt, or a boiled egg, and stick to daytime servings. Better yet, steam your carrots to reduce glycemic impact without losing fiber. Have you ever felt lightheaded, anxious, or wide awake a few hours after a healthy snack at night? I'd love to hear what foods trigger that reaction for you. Share your story in the comments. Your experience could help someone else. Before we wind up, we'll look at the last vegetable, one that's rich in color but can quietly clog tiny arteries and worsen inflammation in aging brains.
Vegetable number 3. Eggplant, the inflammatory culprit. I'll never forget my old neighbor, Ms. Evelyn, 73, sharp as a tack, always gardening and cooking from scratch. But one morning, she woke up confused and weak on her left side. Turns out, she'd had a mini stroke overnight. She wasn't on junk food. She wasn't diabetic. But she did have one habit: grilled eggplant with dinner almost every night. Most people don't know this, but eggplant belongs to the nightshade family, along with tomatoes, bell peppers, and white potatoes. These vegetables contain solanine, a natural chemical defense compound that can cause inflammation, especially in people with underlying vascular or autoimmune conditions. While solanine is safe in small amounts, eating too much over time, especially late in the day, may contribute to chronic blood vessel irritation. According to the Journal of Clinical Hypertension, persistent low-grade inflammation in older adults is a key predictor of small vessel disease, a hidden culprit in many types of strokes, particularly lacunar infarcts, which occur in deep parts of the brain and often go unnoticed until symptoms are severe. What makes eggplant especially concerning for seniors is that it's high in oxalates, which can interfere with circulation and may lead to plaque buildup in tiny arteries. Add in solanine's inflammatory properties, and you've got a vegetable that, while heart-healthy for some, can quietly undermine brain health after 60 in others, particularly when eaten frequently or in large portions at dinner. To be clear, eggplant isn't toxic, but if you're over 60, dealing with high blood pressure, or taking medications that impact your circulation, it can quietly add to the strain on your blood vessels, especially at night, when your body is supposed to be repairing and restoring itself. The American Heart Association warns that inflammatory foods, even from plant sources, can increase oxidative stress and harm endothelial function, the very lining of your blood vessels. And that damage often begins silently, long before any symptoms appear. So what should you do? If you love eggplant, limit it to once or twice a week, and preferably at lunch. Always bake or steam it instead of grilling or frying, which increases its acrylamide load, a compound linked to inflammation. Pair it with anti-inflammatory herbs like turmeric, basil, or garlic. But remember our warning on garlic, too. Do you eat eggplant often? Have you noticed any issues like stiffness, joint aches, or brain fog afterward? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your insight might help someone rethink their own dinner habits.
Now, let's quickly recap the 3 vegetables that silently raise stroke risk overnight, especially for adults over 60. Garlic, while packed with benefits, it's a powerful natural blood thinner. If you're already on heart or blood pressure meds, too much garlic, especially before bed, can dangerously lower clotting ability and raise your risk of a hemorrhagic stroke. Raw carrots, healthy in moderation, but eaten raw at night, they can spike and crash your blood sugar and blood pressure, putting sudden strain on your arteries while you sleep. That kind of instability increases your risk of a silent stroke. No symptoms until it's too late. Eggplant, this colorful nightshade, may seem harmless, but its inflammatory compounds and oxalates can quietly clog and irritate small brain vessels in seniors, particularly when eaten frequently or late in the day. These are vegetables we've all been told to trust, but as we age, our bodies change. What was once good for you at 30 might now be quietly stressing your heart, vessels, or brain after 60. And it often starts with no pain, no warning, just a bad morning that changes everything. But here's the good news. You don't need to fear vegetables, just get smarter with how and when you eat them. The American Heart Association and National Institute on Aging both stress that nighttime stroke prevention starts in the kitchen with small, consistent food choices that protect your brain, not surprise it. So be mindful. And if you found any part of today's video eye-opening, please share it with someone you care about. You never know. One simple change could prevent a life-changing event. If this video helped you see your veggies differently, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more evidence-backed tips on stroke prevention, senior nutrition, and healthy aging after 60.